Hey everybody, Bryce here with Top Notch Flies. Welcome back to some fly tying. I know it's been a minute since I've done a video and posted it up. Trying to get a little more comfortable doing this, so hopefully as this 2023 year moves along, you will see more of me on my YouTube channel. So to start us off for this year, brand new start doing some videos, we are going to tie one of my favorite patterns that I've been tying for a while now. Very common pattern that everybody seems to tie, and everybody ties it differently, which is what makes this so much fun. I'm going to be tying a Stonefly Nymph pattern today, using rubber legs. This is the first time I've tied this pattern with rubber legs, just playing with it. Doing it up for local guide here in Calgary. These bugs work extremely well on the Bow River here in Calgary and many other rivers around. So what we have in the vise here today is a Togans number 10 natural curve nymph hook with a 1/8 Togans red bead. Just slide that bead back. To tie this fly today, I'm using a ultra thread in black in a 70. So we're just gonna lay down a few thread wraps in behind the hook eye here, just so we've got something to start our antenna with. So our antenna and tail material is going to be some beige or tan cream colored turkey bite. So we'll just grab our first piece to our antenna and a couple of loose wraps so that we can position it where we want it and pull it back to make it the desired length that we would like. Once you have that, you can secure it. A couple of wraps backwards, a couple of wraps forward. Come back to your tie-in point. Grab your second side of your antenna. Lay it kind of in place, and again, a couple of light, easy wraps so you can pull it back and get it to desired length. I usually try to pinch them together just a little bit to judge the ends up, and then you can secure it and break off your tags. Couple of wraps, secure it, grab your whip finisher or half hitch tool, a couple of half hitches or whip finishes, snip and bring your bead back up to the top. Then we're going to take some 0.03 lead wrap, about 5 or 6 wraps, push it up against your bead head as tight as you can, and I try to take that tag end of lead wrap and wrap it around hook shank as best you can. Take your thread again in behind your lead wrap and just build up a bit of a dam there to hold that in place, and continue to the bend of the hook where we will put our tail together. Now I like to go just a little bit down the bend and then come back up just to cover hook shank a little bit. Grab your turkey by it again, peel the piece off, ignore the dog, she's barking at me because I bumped my vise, made a noise. Again, a couple of loose wraps so you can adjust and pull your tail to the desired length you like. I like to make my tails on these flies anywhere from 3/4 of a hook shank length to 1 1/4, even up to 1 1/2 hook shank lengths. Just depends on how intimidating, I guess, I want to make the fly look, the bug look. So yeah, so it's all preference. Once you have your preference spacing on your tail and your length, then I prefer to secure it all the way to my lead, and it helps, one, lock that lead into place, but two, it also helps put some body onto the hook shank. Then go back to your tie-in point at the top of your bend. Grab some wire, copper wire, whatever color rib you want. I'm using some copper ultra small, so small or a medium will work. So then we just want to secure it and lock it all down. Again, you're just okay, and hang it. Okay. For the body, we are using some tan colored wing feather barbels or fibers, however you want to call them. So these are real tricky to work with, but they do work. I've been playing with these for a while now. You have to be patient, and depending on the size of the hook shank, you may need a couple of different bundles of fibers to build the body. So you tear some off the feather vein, clean your end off, snip your ends off, and then try to tie your ends in as close as you can so that you get all the value out of your feather fiber as you're wrapping it around your hook shank. So we have a short one in there. So then pull everything together, use your hackle pliers to grab your tips, and gently but firmly wrap around your hook shank. Say this is, sometimes you only get about 2 to 3 wraps, and sometimes it's better just to take those 2 to 3 wraps than try to get greedy and get more in. Couple of good secure wraps to hold that in place. We're just going to grab another little bundle here of fiber. Again, trim your ends off. Again, when you secure it, try to get it so that everything's flat and wrapped around, kind of over the hook shank. It makes this transition a lot smoother and look a little more on the natural side. And again, hackle pliers, gently but firmly come back around, trying to keep the feather flat on the hook shank. And we're going to stop there. Again, a couple good secure trim those off, secure everything down. Grab your whip finisher or half hitch, put a couple half hitches or whip finishes in there, grab your bobbin threader holder if you have one, bring everything around. Tail stuck together here. I'll fix it later. Okay, you're going to counter wrap your rib so that you hold all of those fibers on that body in place. Good firm wrap. And I just take a couple of twists up in behind that lead wrap just to keep that in place as well. Also makes it somewhat easier to know where there it is. Knew we were there. See the fiber loose, we'll just trim that now. Lock your vise and wrap back to tie that rib in. Okay, now for our legs. Using just some rubber leg material. This one I'm using kind of a clear leg, and we want to just fold it in half, kind of sorta. Cut it, take one half again, fold it in half, cut it, try to get them so they're matched up and even, and then we want to tie them into place. Again, a couple of loose wraps to just secure everything. And again, the thing that I like about working with these is you can trim them to size. So I just try to get them close to where I want them, because then as I finish the fly, I will trim everything to the size I want, or the length I want, and then trim, tag end off, and position it loosely on the other side to make your other set of legs. Secure it. And once you got it secured, go back to your tie-in point. Again, you just gently kind of keep manipulating these legs so they sit the way you want them. Take some clear sow scudback, 1/4 inch diameter, or width I should say, and we're going to lock it into place. And just keep manipulating these back legs so they sit properly. This, try to hook it so it kind of stays out of the way. We're going to take some brown pheasant tail feather fibers for our wing casing. Tie that into place, secure it. Then we take, probably about 4 peacock herl, because these are really thin, light herls. They're not, as you can kind of tell, they're a little thin, which is okay. It's off of a young male. And tie these into place. You take and you can wrap these around to start building your thorax. Your pheasant tail fibers over. Trim those off. Fold your scud back over. Couple of good wraps. Now, you're going to take your other half of your clear leg and just repeat fold, cut it, put it in roughly where you want it. Again, just loosely so you can move it and manipulate it around. Have it locked in place. You just trim your ends off again. Get it all locked in place there. Clean your tag end off. Kind of pull that. I just broke that leg off. That's okay. Grab again some fibers here. Oh, I'm going to see if I can do something with that leg. Put these down. You probably just had this thought. That'll work. That'll work just fine. Trim it off. Now we can grab our fibers again. Get them all kind of lined up. Trim them off. Secured. Go for our peacock herl again. I think about 4 is about the right number for the size of these herls and everything. Okay. It's always a good idea to try to pull your legs back a little bit when you're wrapping thorax or whatever. This helps keep them a little more in position where you prefer them to be. You can do the same when you're working with natural material as well for forming legs. See, the nice thing about the rubber is you can trim it to your leg length you prefer. Fold your scud back over. Just tighten things up a little bit there. Okay, grab another leg. Couple of loose wraps just so you can secure it in. Not too bad there. Top leg just right into there. Take a little trim. And then to the other side. Actually looks not too bad. Secure it. Trim it off. Finish it. We're going to use a little bit lighter material. This is off of this golden pheasant, a young male. It just gives the wing casing a little bit of a different color and profile. It actually works really well in my opinion. And again, see, we'll grab about 4 hurl and line them all up a little bit. Hold your legs back a little bit if you can. Bring yourself a couple of wraps. Lock them in. Sometimes I can break them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just like trim them off just like I did. And pull our pheasant tail feathers forward. Form that wing casing, a couple of secure wraps. Trim. Grab your scud back. Fold it over. A couple of good secure wraps. Trim it. One wrap or so if you desire. I usually just try to whip finish it off. Get your thread. Silly tail wants to keep sticking together. Get it separated here so we can trim our legs. There we go. There. Alright. Now we're gonna just trim my back legs. I like to trim them so they're just past the body a little bit. And then from there I just kind of stagger their look. Sometimes I can get them too short, but then our final step is some Loon UV clear resin. I will admit I'm not a real big fan of this Loon resin, but I have it to use up before I get into trying a different variety. I just take and just enhance this wing casing with the UV resin. Go around the beads so you secure your thread in. hit it with your light. And then what you can't see is in the corner of my tying bench here, I've got another UV lamp. It's actually one the nail salon people use. So I just take and when I have a couple together, they go in under the lamp, and it just gives another cure. So anyhow, that is our fly for today, and this is how they are. That one tail still is being a pain. There we go. You know, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and please feel free to comment in the comments on it, and for more videos and to follow me more, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Tight lines everybody, and cheers.